All right, guys, so this is the hips elevated pancake stretch. So for this stretch, if you're having trouble with our exercises like the seated good morning, this is gonna be an excellent stretch to assist in doing that. And I'll demo here first. For a lot of guys, I have to start them on the bench. This is one of the areas that guys have the most trouble in increasing their flexibility. And one of the major reasons is because we have to get our back into a position where it can work with gravity to assist the stretch. And since when most guys get into this, they're super tight. If they're sitting on the floor, they're totally upright. You're not really gonna help yourself into getting the stretch through like the adductors and inner hamstrings. There's nothing wrong with elevating the hips in this stretch, okay? So a lot of guys might have to start on something as high as a bench. And again, that's totally fine. So I'll just demo here. Okay, you want the hips almost as wide as you can get them. If you're really flexible, which most people watching this video probably are not, you don't want to go too wide because that's more of like middle splits, but you want to try to get your hips as wide as you can so where the hips are at least make a 90-degree angle. And then from here, all you want to think about is leaning forward while keeping those legs straight, okay? Now, if you're afraid, you feel like you're going to fall forward off the bench, again, you can put something here in front of you to kind of keep your hands on. But the important thing is, and you can even go back a little bit, the important thing is that your back can get to about a 45-degree angle. Okay, so if you get to a 45-degree angle, you're going to feel a good stretch to the inside of those hamstrings, maybe adductors. And then as you get more flexible and you can get past that 45 degrees, then you can start to use other objects to start lowering yourself, whether you stack plates, if you have lower benches or boxes. Fortunately here we have tons of these little pads, so you know if you have multiples of these or yoga blocks, you can stack them up. But then as you can see over time, you know, now I can get forward. Again, I get a nice stretch here through the inside. Take a nice big deep breath. I can get a little deeper into the stretch. All right, and then as you can see, my back can get below 45 degrees. Without beating a dead horse too much, all you have to focus on is you can just keep lowering the objects until you're seated on the floor. And then once you get to the floor, you know, you can do, once you can get to the back to 45 degrees, that's gonna be enough where you can start working on the floor. But again, if you're sitting here and you look like this, you need to elevate the hips. It's gonna be super important. By the time you get to this, you should have enough flexibility for the seated good morning, so it shouldn't be an issue, but that is the hips elevated pancake stretch. All right, guys, so this next stretch is the half pancake, and this one is to target and bias the QL. So the QL, your quadratus lumborum right here, part of your low back, can limit your flexibility in both the pancake and seated good morning. So this stretch is really useful for opening that up to give you more range of motion. The regressions are pretty similar to just the pancake stretch or the hips elevated pancake stretch. Some guys might be so tight that you might have to start elevated on a bench. Now, since this is only half, you can bend one leg, okay? And then whatever side is the straight leg, that's the side we're gonna bend to. All right, so what you wanna do is you wanna reach over and then towards that foot. And then again, you'll feel like a nice strong stretch. QL, obliques, even lats. So it kind of gets that whole side of your body, all right? Then, as you get more flexible, you can, again, lower onto some pads. So as you see here, I bend one leg in, all right? And then again, my goal is I'm actually reaching over, trying to stay as sideways as possible. You don't want to rotate to the side, okay? You want to try to stay up. And then I can reach for my foot. And then again, the more flexible I get, and this is mostly going to determine on your pancake flexibility, not so much your QL flexibility. So if your pancake flexibility is really good, the lower you can sit. The less good it is, the higher you're going to have to sit. But again, I'll just show on this side, just kind of even it out. The whole point is that this leg is bent, and I'm really focusing on reaching over towards that foot, okay? You can use a band or you could use a partner if you're fortunate enough to train with a partner. You can use somebody to kind of help you get into that stretch. But again, it's just to focus on that whole side where the QL is. So that flexibility will limit, and then eventually, you know, once you get flexible enough, you get to the floor, all right, you can really start to see, like, you can get into it. I'm not limited by my QL and lat flexibility on this side. I can easily bend and reach over My right side might not be so good. This QL is usually actually a little tighter, which it is, right? But as you can see, reaching over. The other thing you want to focus on is keeping this hip down. It's not going to matter so much when you're elevated because you're not going to have the issue, but the lower you get, this hip might want to raise up. Remember that QL connects the ribs and the hip, so if this leg's lifting up, you're not stretching the QL, it's actually shortening. So just make sure that you want to keep that down. You could even put a weight or something on your leg just to keep it down while you do the stretch if you're having that problem. Again, that's the half pancake for the QL.